Hey everyone, it's March, which means we get 5 new games with the Prime Gaming, or Amazon Gaming is what it's called now. So let's see what these games are and if it's worth your time to download or not. First up, we got Boomerang Fu Deluxe, which came out in 2017, got a Metacritic score of 75, and you're looking about $25 if you bought this game normally. The length is about 15 hours, and the best way I can describe it is a strategic bombing simulator. You're kind of managing a bombing plane in order to do missions. If this looks familiar, it's because it was part of the March 2020 game, so a whole year. It was set in World War II. You control a crew in the bomber plane. I enjoyed the graphics. It's this cartoony feel. You have to assign roles to people on the plane, so it was kind of cool there. Damage of the plane was a cool effect and important, and if one of your people died, they were gone for the rest of the game. You had to like get new people. But overall, I would say this is a download. It was a fun management simulator, and that would be the con here as well, was you're not really doing a whole lot of fighting per se. It's just more controlling people and like reloading guns and moving around to fight off people, so that may not be very exciting to some of y'all. Next up, we have Tengami, which was a mobile iOS game at first and then came to PC and also Android. This came out in 2015 with a Metacritic score of 57, and you're looking for about $7 normally and about an hour and a half of gameplay. And the best way I could describe this is a puzzle adventure. And the biggest standout here was the graphics and the concept. It was like you were in a pop-up book. And this makes sense for the mobile games where you're kind of turning pages and interacting with the book to solve these puzzles. And it was kind of cool how you would do this. You would like flip through pages or even slots. So a big puzzle they had was these things that were in 3 sections, and you would flip through and try to get your character to the top and constantly changing the landscape, which was really cool. I enjoyed this. And I like the added touch that your character was flat like paper too. If you walk up and down some, you'll see that the character is thin. I kind of like that detail. And overall, the graphics was cool to me. The story was kind of lacking. You're restoring balance to this tree for the world. Didn't really get much explanation other than that. And I don't think the game was aiming for that. It was just more a puzzle and a cool environment to be in. And I would say this is a download. It was a fun short puzzle you can play in a night, and counting it $7 normally, that seemed relatively high for the amount of content here, so getting it free was a very big plus. The downside would be you would see this as a pointless hour, and you would tell that it is a mobile game by the controls. Next up, we have Blasphemous. This came out in 2019. With a Metacritic score of 77, and you're looking at $25 if you would buy this normally. So this is a game that's a good steal right now, and it's 13 hours. And this is an action-adventure game in the style of the Metroidvania. If you're a fan of that, this game's going to stand out there. The overall story here is you have to complete these 3 tasks to get a relic. So it wasn't really a detailed story, but this environment was really weird. I had a very Dark Souls vibe, and I think that's what they're aiming for. It's very gory, so I'm going to try to show what I can. But that was the style of the game and had like this religious tone. So it was very... I don't know what was happening a lot of times. It's a non-linear game, so you can kind of go wherever you want. I will say that it did get repetitive of the backtracking. That was one of the things I wasn't too much of a fan of, and it just got tedious after a while. The combat was really good for the first couple times. You fight these new bosses, you had to figure them out, but then some of them you figure out enough, like these guys with the shields. You just get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm just repeating what to do. I gotta wait for him to swing, and then do my 2 attacks, wait, do my 2 attacks. So did get tedious there. The art was amazing. I enjoyed the look of this game a lot. And I compared it to Dark Souls for a reason, and that's because it's a challenging game. I don't know if it's to the level of Dark Souls, but you're going to struggle at times. And it has a respawn point when you die. You can go back and collect your dead place and get some of your energy back. The cutscenes were odd. Again, this story was odd to me, but they were done in a cool animation. It was like this still animated thing, which I thought was unique. So yeah, the combat again was kind of slow, but I did enjoy it. It just got a little repetitive, but even with all that, this is definitely a download. I enjoyed my time playing it with them side effects. The pros here is if you're really big into them challenging games, this will be one to definitely pick up. The con here would be the story, confusion, and if you hated Dark Souls, this probably isn't the game for you. I wasn't a big fan of Dark Souls, but I enjoyed this one, so take that as well in this. Next up, we have SkyDrift, which came out in 2011. So this is a really old game, 10 years. Wow, that's crazy. I just realized that. And you got 73 on Metacritic, and you're looking at $10. And it's about 4 hours for the story. This is a combat racing, but you're in planes, so there's a unique thing there. Best way to compare it, Mario Kart in the air. So you have different race modes. You have survival, where you have to be the last plane alive. There's a counter, and whoever's in last place is kicked out the race. You have normal racing, battle mode, and then some speed modes, which is cool. You're going to notice through these scenes, the trees are these green squares. On PC, there is actually a fix. It's an optimization through NVIDIA, I think it was. I don't know if AMD had the problem. But I was lazy overall and left them in there and kind of just liked the effect for some reason. I don't know. But that can be turned off if you're looking at this. There was a good amount of planes to select from, and they had different skins you can unlock. The levels were cool. I enjoyed the tracks. The problem I had mostly was the invisible barrier, getting used to it, because obviously you can't just go up as high as you can. They want you contained. So sometimes I would hit the invisible wall up high without realizing it, and it shoots your plane down really fast. So I did wreck one time on that. And just getting used to how they mark turns, I ended up hitting a rock because I wasn't expecting the turn to be that close. Overall, I was kind of on the fence of this game, but I would say overall download it. It's worth a shot. It is a different style of combat racing. I never really played one that was purely planes like this. So that was a unique twist. The con here is if you were watching this and you were like, man, I just want to play Mario Kart. I don't know if I even want to touch this. That would be probably the con here. It's just you're going to want to play another combat racing game. So you may not even spend a lot of time with this. Last game that was free this month was Boomerang Fu, which came out actually last summer in 2020. This was not rated on Metacritic yet, but you are looking at a $15 game, and it's out on the Switch as well, and the Xbox, and I'm pretty sure the PlayStation. There is not really a time length here, but this was one of them physics party games. You're going to hear me compare this to Towerfall a lot during this talk. So what you could do is pick from different characters that are really food-based. You had like coffee, bacon, avocado, watermelon, stuff like that. And it was a very cartoony look with the graphics, and I enjoyed it a lot. I like the over-top view you had of the worlds that you fought in. And basically the goal here is you can play up to 6 players. They could be computer players as well. And the goal is just to kill your opponents with the boomerang. You have 3 different modes. You got versus, where everybody fights each other, teams where you can group people, and then basically oddball. It was like the golden boomerang. You just had to hold it for the longest amount of time to get the victory, or a certain amount of time. The deaths of the character were cool. I kind of actually enjoyed it. Like when I cut the banana here, it was just, it's kind of cool and satisfying in a weird way. So that was that. I played a lot of the versus, which you had to get like 20 kills in total. So it worked like Towerfall. Each level, it ends. So I was playing with 4 people total. So there's 3 opponents. However many you killed on that level, you got a point for each, and you just played to 20 and kept going through different maps. So the levels were pretty fun. They varied a lot and were unique details. You had blocks that would actually kill you or knock you off the map. So they had dangers on there. And there was a lot of cool power-ups. I kept getting the multi-boomerang a lot of times I played, but you had some ones that even messed you up, which I hit one time and it like reversed my controls and I died instantly. So that was unique. The negative here is the no online. Counting that came out last year during COVID, I think that did penalize this game a lot. It was hard to make a game where it was like, hey, everyone get on the couch and play. But with that being said, definitely a download. I had a lot of fun with this. If you play Towerfall, you would like this game a lot. The pro here is a fun party game. And that's what it's designed for. The con here is if you don't have many people local to play it or enough controllers or anything, that's going to deter you from this game because it's designed to be a couch playing game. So there you have it, the 5 games. This is one of the few times I recommended them all. I was actually shocked. I enjoyed them all. SkyDrift would be probably the lowest on there. I think that's the one most people will probably skip, especially the age of the game. But the Boomerang Fu, Blasphemous, if you like that style, that style is a hard sell. But I would definitely recommend Boomerang Fu. I thought that game was cool. But anyways, that's all I have for you today. I will see you next month with some more new games. Peace.